This video will be the odd problems on pages 18 and 19. So just a reminder that if you have a less than sign or a greater than sign, you need to use an open circle. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you need to use a closed circle. So for number 1, x is less than 3. We put our circle at 3 and we shade to the left for less than. It's an open circle, meaning we can't quite get 3. If you would rather put it above the number line and just draw an arrow over, that is fine. For number 3, x is greater than or equal to 7, so we need to have our closed circle on 7 and then shade to the right. Again, if you would rather just put it right above and go to the right, that is fine, either one. For our next two, number 5 and number 7, we have to write the inequality. So I always suggest writing your variable on the left and then your number on the right. So we're comparing any number that is a solution to -2. These numbers are all smaller than -2, so it's a less than sign and it's an open circle, so strictly less than -2. Number 7, we have n and 0. Again, we're going to the left, so you know it's less than, but it's also or equal to because of the closed circle. So for the rest of the notes, we are going to be solving inequalities and then graphing our solutions. One thing you have to remember is that you solve these just like equations, only if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality sign. So only when you multiply or divide by a negative. Adding and subtracting doesn't change it at all. So number 9, 3 times x plus 2. So we have to get rid of the plus 2 by subtracting 2 from both sides. 3x is less than -4 minus 2 is -6. To get rid of times 3, we need to divide by 3. X is less than -2. I do not flip the sign because I divided by +3. It doesn't matter what your top number is, what you're dividing. It's only what you're dividing by. So we divided by +3, so the sign stays the same. So you need to put -2 in the middle. And again, if you want to skip a spot, that's fine. This would be -1, so this would be 0. This would be -3, so that would be -4. We need an open circle and then to the left. I recommend always putting your variable on the left because then you can shade or draw to whichever way the sign is pointing. When you check your solution, which you always should, you don't use this number. If you plug in -2, you're going to get exactly -4. We need to know if it's actually less than. So you need to pick a number here. You could pick -3, -4, -5, -200. It doesn't matter, as long as it's less than -2. I'll just go ahead and pick -3. So 3 times -3 plus 2 gives me -7. -7 is less than -4, so we know we went the right direction. For number 11, we need to get rid of the +8 first, so we need to subtract 8 from both sides. -7x is less than or equal to 1 minus 8 is -7. Now a lot of us just know that the answer is x and 1, but you have to be really careful because the step is to divide by -7, which means we need to flip the sign to x is greater than or equal to 1. So make sure you have your answer written, not just your graph. So 1 in the middle, 2, 3, -1, -2, or sorry, 0 and -1. So I would have a closed circle because I'm including 1 and go to the right. So I'm going to pick 2 to plug in. -7 times 2 plus 8 gives me -6. -6 is less than or equal to 1. Number 13, first we need to add 5 to both sides. -2x is less than or equal to 24. divide by -2, so that tells me I need to flip the sign around and get x is greater than or equal to -12. So -12 goes in the middle, -11, -10, -13, -14. Closed circle, and this says I should be going to the right. So I'm going to try -11 to see if I'm correct. -2 times -11 minus 5 gives me 17. 17 is less than or equal to 19, so we know we did it correctly. Number 15, first I have to subtract 5 from both sides to get rid of the plus 5. 3/4 x is greater than 6. Again, a lot of people see that negative and they think you need to flip it. That's only if you multiply or divide by a negative. To get rid of 3/4, I need to multiply by 4/3. So x is greater than, again, you can go right across, or you can do the shortcut of 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. X is greater than 8 is our answer. So 8 in the middle, 9, 10, 7, 6. So we think we should have an open circle at 8 and to the right. So 3/4 times 9 plus 5. 11.75 is greater than 11. So we know we did that one correctly. For 17, first I need to add 2 to both sides. 5x is less than or equal to -5. Divide by 5. I do not flip the sign because I divided by +5. Okay, doesn't matter that this one was negative. I divided by +5. So I leave it as x is less than or equal to -1. -1 in the middle, 0, 1, -2, -3. This should be closed and to the left. So I'm going to plug in -2 to make sure I did this correctly. 5 times -2 minus 2 gives me -12. -12 is less than or equal to -7, so that one's good. And finally 19, this is the tricky one. This minus sign goes here. So you need to get rid of a +4 by subtracting 4. If you would have put a +4, it would not have canceled out. We need it to go away, so subtract 4. You have to be careful here. This is -1/3 x. That minus sign needs to come down then in front as a -1/3 x is greater than 7. To get rid of multiplying by -1/3, I need to multiply by -3/1, or again, you can just write that as -3. We do have to flip the sign this time because I multiplied by a negative. So x is less than -21. -21 goes in the middle. -20, -19, -22, -23. Open and to the left. So I would try -22. 4 minus 1/3 times -22. 11.3 repeating is greater than 11. So we did that one correctly.